Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem, and Kakradash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, who taught us this truth, who ruled well, being a great example to the younger brothers. Double shalom to the hopeful elect, the Akim, pushing this word and truth and sincerity across the four winds of the earth. It's your brother Karatazar from GMS Gulf Coast, Mississippi, House of Judah, coming back with a quick lesson. Lord willing, Abaratazah, it be edifying to the body, to sincere believers that are tuning in as well. Shalom. It's gonna be on prayer and the proper way to pray. I want to start it off in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 5. It reads, "And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets." Don't be as the hypocrites, as the actors. It says they love to pray standing in the streets and in the synagogues and in the corner. They love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. When you see it, you got a Jake, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, get murdered either by police or by a regular civilian. You got Jake want to gather together in the streets, holding hands and praying, for the person that was murdered, and that ain't how you're supposed to pray. Because first and foremost, if somebody gets shot down, well, he had that judgment coming to him, because in Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, let's go ahead and grab that. It says, sentence against the evil work is not, because sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is set in them to do evil. Because just because a person may get away with doing wickedness and being evil, and the Most High ain't judging them, they say, oh man, he must understand that I gotta do what I gotta do to get by, to feed my family, and they say I'm gonna keep doing it. But that's not the case, because to everything, there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, and the Lord is slow to wrath and slow to anger. He's long suffering, but guess what? In no wise will he acquit the wicked, It says in verse 12, though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with him that fear God, which fear before him, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feared not the Most High. And the Most High will not in any wise acquit the wicked, But let's stay on topic, going back to prayer, But as well, before we go back to Matthew, let's grab Job 4 and 7 to further prove that there is no one that is killed, because the issues of death belong to the Most High. So whoever dies, the Most High killed them. The Most High has killed everyone that has died, And Job 4 and 7, it says, remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off, Because everyone that dies had that judgment coming to them, you know. But you see our people gather together in the streets, um, praying for these wicked men and women, you know. So let's go back to Matthew chapter 6, back in verse 5. And it says, they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, you know. But what did the Most High say to Jeremiah? He said, let's grab it. Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 16. He told Jeremiah, therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. You know, he told Jeremiah to not pray for these folks. And if he does pray, he will not hear Jeremiah's prayer, you know. Because again, everybody has to live out their judgment, you know. Back in Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 6, it says, but thou, when thou prayest, right? So this is the proper way to pray, not in the streets to be seen of men, but it says, but thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet. And when thou hast shut thy door, pray to the Father, which is in secret. Okay, now it's not literally saying you have to be in your closet when you pray, but it's saying that you need to pray with in secret, you know, with by yourself. You don't need to pray with others. You need to always pray alone to the Most High in secret. And it says, and thy Father which seest in secret shall reward thee openly, you know. And you want to pray to the let's see if I can grab that. I'm not really sure what scripture it is, but let's see if I can find it real quick. Let's see. Let's see. Well, this is Ezekiel 8 and 16. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house. And behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east. And they worshipped the sun. They worshipped the sun toward the east. I think that's going off. Let me see. But Salaki, I didn't have this written down for this lesson. This is 1 Kings 8 and verse 30. It says, and hearken thou to the supplication of thy servant and of thy people Israel, when they shall pray toward this place, and hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and when thou hearest, forgive. But the point is, we're supposed to pray to the east. Salaki, I didn't get a scripture, but you could look it up yourself. It says, let's go back to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6. In verse 16, it says, Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, We will not walk therein, because these people who like to pray in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, they don't look for the old paths and the proper ways that the scriptures command you to do things. They are in the churches shouting and praying and walking up to the altar so the pastor could lay hands on them and pray in front of everybody, you know. But that's not the proper way to do things. And this is what our people do, you know. But let's get back in the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, But when ye pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking. You know, the Lord knows what you need, you know, so you don't have to keep asking for the same thing over and over. You know, it says, For they think that they may be heard for their much speaking. You know, the heathen can't pray to the Most High because the Most High is not their God. So they pray to false gods and idols, you know, for the same things over and over because their prayers go unanswered. You know, they pray to rocks, you know, and to different things like that. Verse 8, Matthew 6 and 8, it says, Be not ye therefore like unto them, for your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask. You know, so just keep it simple, you know, and to the point. Now, just to close it out, I want to grab two more quick scriptures. Staying in the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 5. It says, But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments. You know, phylactery is a fortified place. It's just a place that people gather in, you know, and they make it broad and enlarge the borders of their garments, their clothes, you know, to be seen of men. But again, that's not how the scriptures command us to pray, you know. Now let's go to the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 23 to close it out. It says, And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men, you know. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Till the next time I say, Shalom.